Hey, what's up? It's Matt, and in my previous video, I talked about Marie Curie, who, along with a bunch of other awesome accomplishments, was the first person to ever win 2 Nobel Prizes. This got me more interested in the Nobel Prize in general, and I wound up learning a lot of interesting things about it. Like, for example, did you know that winning the Nobel Prize nets you a lot of money? As of 2017, winning a Nobel Prize gets you about $1 million, and it's actually been as high as 1.4 before. And in addition, winning a Nobel Prize is considered one of the most prestigious awards you can win. But how did all this happen? What is the Nobel Prize and how did it begin? The Nobel Prize started out with a massive donation from Swedish inventor and businessman Alfred Nobel. Nobel actually held 355 patents, but was known mostly for inventing dynamite. In 1888, Alfred's brother, Ludwig, passed away, but a French paper accidentally published an obituary for Alfred, not Ludwig. The obituary condemned Alfred for making money off dynamite, stating, "The merchant of death is dead." It went on later to say that Dr. Alfred Nobel, who became rich by finding ways to kill more people faster than ever before, died yesterday. Understandably, Nobel didn't like this and didn't want to be remembered that way, so on November 27, 1895, he signed a will that gave away 94% of his total fortune to establish the Nobel Prizes. 94% of his fortune, converting currencies and keeping up with inflation, is around $210 million today. After he passed away, his will took a bit of time to verify and process because that much money seems like it might not be real, but once it was deemed to be legitimate, the Nobel Prizes could begin to be created. The will called for prizes to be awarded to those who contributed the greatest benefit on mankind in 5 categories: physics, chemistry, physiology/medicine, literature, and peace. In 1968, there was also a 6th Nobel Prize added in economics after a large donation from Sweden's National Bank. This economics award is not one of the original Nobel Prizes, and in fact its full name is the Nobel Memorial Prize, but it's still considered by most to have the same recognition and prestige as the other 5 prizes. Winning an award in any of these categories is considered one of the highest honors you can get, and they're awarded on December 10th, the anniversary of Alfred Nobel's death. Okay, so that's some background about what these awards are and how it got started. Some of the other stuff I read while researching this were the funky cases, like when people got a Nobel Prize but really shouldn't have. So Nobel's will says the awards should honor discoveries made, quote, during the preceding year. But the Nobel Committee may have taken that a bit too literally at first because they sometimes awarded prizes to individuals whose discoveries didn't yet have the time to undergo rigorous scientific scrutiny. For example, the 1926 prize in physiology and medicine was given to someone who discovered a parasite that supposedly caused cancer. Turns out it didn't. I don't know if the Nobel Committee asked him to give his prize back after that, but they did start changing their interpretation of Nobel's will. Now, as one former Nobel Prize Committee chairman has said, the criterion the previous year is interpreted by the Nobel Assembly as the year when the full impact of the discovery has become evident. This allows for more rigorous scientific scrutiny and also allows the committee to consider scientific, literary, or peacemaking accomplishments whose effects didn't fully show or become apparent until much later. There are also many political figures who have been awarded Nobel Peace Prizes whom many feel did not deserve it. You can learn more about this by clicking on the video in the cards. Okay, just as there are some people who got a Nobel Prize but probably or definitely didn't deserve one, there are also people who haven't received Nobel Prizes who probably earned one. The most glaring example of this is probably Gandhi. He was nominated 5 times but never won. And when he was assassinated in 1948, the Nobel Committee didn't award the Peace Prize to anyone that year, saying that there was no living suitable candidate. Additionally, in 2006, the secretary of the Norwegian Nobel Committee noted that the greatest omission in our 106-year history is undoubtedly that Mahatma Gandhi never received the Nobel Peace Prize. Gandhi could do without the Nobel Peace Prize. Whether Nobel Committee can do without Gandhi is the question. Later, when the committee gave the 1989 Peace Prize to the Dalai Lama, they remarked that it was in part a tribute to the memory of Gandhi. Okay, let's shift gears again. Another cool thing I found while researching the Nobel Prize is that certain award winners didn't accept their prize. This is either because they refused to, weren't allowed to, or feared what would happen to them if they did. In 1964, for example, Jean-Paul Sartre was awarded the Literature Prize, but refused because, quote, "A writer must refuse to allow himself to be transformed into an institution, even if it takes place in the most honorable form." And in 1973, this guy whose name I'm not even gonna try to say was given the Nobel Peace Prize for drafting the treaty that was supposed to lead to peace in Vietnam. He declined it, saying there wasn't peace in Vietnam. All these other individuals here were also given a Nobel Prize, but did not accept it because they were forbidden to, or feared what their oppressive regime would do to them if they accepted it. Okay, lastly, this video was born from my interest in Marie Curie and her Nobel Prizes, so it's only fitting that it ends this way too. If you recall from my previous video, Marie Curie was the first woman to ever win a Nobel Prize and the first person to ever win 2 Nobel Prizes, and to this day, only 3 other individuals ever have won 2 Nobel Prizes. Well, it turns out she gets even cooler because the Curie family holds the record for most Nobel Prizes won. Her family holds 4 different Nobel Prizes shared by 5 different individuals. Marie and Pierre shared the 1903 Physics Prize, and Marie on her own won the 1911 Chemistry Prize. Marie and Pierre's daughter, Irene, shared the 1935 Chemistry Prize with Irene's husband, Frederick. And finally, Marie Curie's other daughter was married to the director of UNICEF when UNICEF won a Nobel Peace Prize in 1965. The closest any other family comes is having 2 winners, and the Curie family has 5. So in case you're wondering, when I'm Not Selma commented that my most recent video was basically 1/3 of me fangirling over Marie Curie, that was 100% accurate. And that's it! This video wound up being longer than I had planned, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to watch the video I made last week, or didn't even know I've uploaded a video here last week, you can click here, and if you want to watch the extra video I made about this on everything else with more information about the Nobel Prize, you can click over here. Also, make sure to click that YouTube bell next to subscribe if you want to stay up to date on the stuff I'm doing, because YouTube notifications are weird sometimes. Thanks, and I'll see you later.